Okay, let's start. So basically, what happened in this past week? That was a very, very bad week for cryptocurrencies. So far, cryptos are basically consolidating in their respective support areas where they basically bounced a bit over their strong support. But what they managed to do is to kind of bounce back today. And today we wrote an article where we said how most media were basically trying to talk about how cryptocurrencies still had like 20 or 30 or 50% crash, where today, if we can notice that the market is barely 2% down. Since yesterday we're talking, so that's like 2 days before. That's how we know that usually the media always lags with their, like you cannot trade only based on what you read on the news. If you're reading the news, you can directly know that that was yesterday's news. Okay, looking at currently the coin market cap, the top 10, we can see most of them are in the red, where Internet Computer managed to kind of reflect this kind of bad week. It was basically down 50%. So if you look here, don't get fooled. It was basically down around 50%, but only from yesterday it managed to recover all the way back to $166, but it went all down almost to $100. So that's very serious, still very serious downtrend. What we're gonna do today is basically start by talking a bit about why the crash happened. Okay, we basically wrote really good articles on our website where we basically spoke about the reasons why the market crashed. And the first one was even before the market started to crash. The first one happened like when we published on May 12th, talking about how Ethereum inventor Vitalik managed to crash most coins, and specifically the DOG tokens. So you know that we have Dogecoin on the market, and many people were waiting for Doge to moon, quote unquote, until Elon Musk went SNL, and it was a huge fail. And all the traders, they managed to take and liquidate their profits, but later everything started to fall, and there was a snowball effect where sellers started to fear, and instead of holding their tokens, everyone started to sell, and instead of going all the way to $1 or even more, it's just fell to like 50, or even it fell to 50 cents. We're gonna check the charts later on for each cryptocurrency. But in this article, we spoke about how Vitalik received a lot of free tokens from the inventors of each project, like Shiba Inu, the Dogelon, and the Akita Inu. Those are like DOG tokens that don't have much fundamentals behind each product, but rather only the hype was behind them. And we can see clearly here how he started dumping and selling. How do you basically dump? When we say there's a dump and a pump, when you pump, you just buy massively, and this is drive prices upwards. And when you dump, you just sell massively. So what Vitalik did is he sold all his tokens all at once that were worth like $7 billion, here like more than 7 billion euros. And he dumped them all at once on the market. So prices just tanked. And this created many like rage in the market, and people like started to bash Elon and Vitalik, like why are they doing that? But at the same time, what's the basic fundamental behind those? It's only about speculation. So something like that is not really important if you're talking about cryptocurrencies, right? So this happened first, and then at the later stage, what happened? The market basically crashed, and the first reason was the Vitalik dump. And what he did with the money, by the way, he donated to charity. So we might say that the money was, people were forced to donate for charity and causes, and most featuredly was India Relief Fund for the COVID-19. There's many things happening in India, especially in this pandemic situation. So the first reason was basically Vitalik dumped all the tokens. Second one was that Tesla disowning Bitcoin. Elon Musk said that Tesla is going to start accepting Bitcoins. They had like 10%. And is complete opposite. Elon comes here and he says like, hey, Tesla is not going to accept Bitcoins anymore because they are not environmental friendly. They're not eco-friendly, rather. And yeah, he spoke about how Bitcoin, that they're concerned about the use of fossil fuels for Bitcoin mining specifically. And he's talking about it has like the worst emission of any fuel. But in fairness, if you want to really talk about, hey, the double standards of Elon, nothing changed with Bitcoin when he first bought them. So why the sudden change of stance after like less than a month or two maximum? What changed? Why did he buy? He made some profits and then he sold, and suddenly now he wants to sell everything and he's disowning it even. Although he did say that Tesla didn't sell their Bitcoins, but it's very, very well known that Tesla did sell a portion of their Bitcoins. So they made profits worth of for 1 year only from this small transaction. So that was the second thing. The third thing was basically the snowball effect. So whenever we have a market sell-off, there's a reason. People start to sell, the price falls down, more people start to sell and panic, and this is how it goes. The more people, the more panic in the market, and the price in turns goes lower. If you take a look at the Google Trends, we will clearly a correlation between what happened. Searches, everyone was searching about Bitcoin. There's a huge jump suddenly at the same time when Elon tweeted about his about Tesla not accepting Bitcoins anymore. So this is directly a direct cause. The effect is obviously a crash in the market. And whenever you have a crash in the market, of course, as I said, the snowball effect happens, prices go even lower, and this is what happens. And that was a big, big crush for everyone. So Vitalik, Elon, and then everyone started to sell. Prices dumped a lot, and this is what happened. If we go to the coin market cap chart, we can see now that Bitcoin is almost around $40,000. It recovered from a $30,000 decrease. Over the past 7 days, most cryptos are down. Okay, we have Solana, which is a layer 2 Ethereum scaling protocol. We have Matic, that is still 80% up. And we're going to talk about those now because those are really important projects. And if you want to invest in something that has growth potential, those two projects are really important. Matic, which is Polygon, and Solana, which are top two, top layer Ethereum layer scaling protocols. Okay, so if I just want to look here, like everything is in red. If I want to filter on the past 7 days, I will see that Matic is number 1. Still, Solana is number 2. And we have other stuff like SushiSwap, which is barely like 5%, but it's something not really considerable. Dogecoin is kind of up, but considering that its price is at 40 cents, it's a dump from 80, so that's like 50% decrease in prices, and everything else is like in the red. So let's start talking about let's talk about some technical analysis. Start with I'm gonna go to TradingView. I usually use this platform for charting. And let's go to the charts. I'm gonna start with Bitcoin, which is the biggest, BTC USD. I think maybe some music would have been nice while we wait. But never mind. Okay, let's go to Bitcoin. Now I'm gonna open the Bitcoin chart, and directly what I'm gonna do is start with my technical analysis. I'm gonna see where Bitcoin was before the crash, and then we're gonna see what happened after it touched the $30,000 price mark, and then where we are right now. Okay, so directly, if I look at this chart, it is just sinking from $64,000. So as soon as it kind of touched $64,000, prices. This is the first sign right here where prices couldn't continue on their uptrend, and this is a big, very big indicator that the trend was cut. Okay, and we entered in a kind of consolidation mode right here. Okay, hi Henry, how are you, man? So yeah, prices went in a small consolidation area between 50,000 and 60,000, and this lasted for almost like 3 weeks. Okay, and after that, I think that prices couldn't continue, and the Elon thingy was really harsh, by the way, on the market. When Elon started, this is approximately where Elon said that they're going to dump everything. And basically, if I just want to see if prices, how much this affected prices. Directly when this happened, markets moved minus 13% downwards. So that was a significant tweet, by the way. Elon, like, he has an effect on the market, but let's not say that prices went all the way to $1,000 or $10,000. Prices are still very high, by the way. Okay, so when prices try to consolidate around this important level of $50,000 but couldn't, and whenever I see this pattern right here going, and by the way, the $48,000 is a very important area as well, and I spoke about this in previous live streams, it couldn't go back up, and this is where we see the snowball effect happening ever since. This is, by the way, the 4-hour chart, so every 4 hours the prices were basically sinking. They kind of recover, but they sink. And when, by the way, the $42,000 price mark was broken, everything went loose. And this let like everyone panicked, sold, and prices reached $30,000. If you look at the tip, the really low of the candle here, it touched $30,000. Now, who made most of the money? A jump from 30,000 to all the way to 40,000 is an increase of basically $10,000. And if you take this 10,000, if someone bought at $30,000, this is basically an increase of 33%. And this happened like in a couple of hours, right? In like 4 hours approximately. Let me try to add some music like that. Maybe this would be more less monotonous. How far back was the SNL show? Was it still on trend then? Exactly. So when the SNL started, by the way, Henry, yeah, let me show you exactly when it happened. Here we go. The SNL happened around, let me check. Happened. I kind of forgot. It was something like 2 weeks ago. Oh my God, I went all the way back. With Elon. You gotta love Google, guys. Yeah, well, May 8th was basically May 9, May 8th. Yeah, the beginning of this month. So if I just zoom all the way right here. Yeah, so the second uptrend that happened after the SNL, Henry, prices couldn't continue. And when SNL was announced and Doge crashed, it did have an effect on other cryptocurrencies, but not directly. Like this is where the SNL happened around here, May 8th. It kind of dropped, but buyers managed to bring it a bit farther upwards, but it failed because the buying power was not continued. So because this didn't hold, sellers were way had more pressure on the selling prices, and this is what affected prices. And if you notice, right after the SNL, like by 2 days, And with the Vitalik dump, by the way, this is where the Vitalik dumped all his tokens, his dog tokens. It had a big effect on Bitcoin, and everything fell. So just to summarize everything, if I look right here, what's happening today, if I just want to take a quick look of what's happening today, if prices fail in the next few hours, or let's say till tomorrow, prices fail to appreciate more than $42,000, I think that prices can still sink all the way to 30, okay? Because sellers are still panicking, by the way. So if prices don't consolidate around 42, this is one option. If there's a consolidation, it might go upwards. But if prices don't hold this uptrend line right here, prices can still go below. Yeah, exactly. Henry was saying about a double whammy. Well, I think, I'm not sure if that was timed by the two, but I think that it was very bad for the whole cryptocurrency market. Like, this happened, and then Elon happened, and then the snowball effect happened, and now China is banning. Like, they cannot ban, but they basically issue warnings and statements for people not to deal with cryptocurrencies. You cannot ban something on the internet, but you cannot let people maybe to thrive and use cryptocurrencies, or even companies to use those kind of things. So yeah, that's for Bitcoin. I think if it doesn't hold the $42,000 in the next hours, I think it can still tank all the way to 30,000. And that's if you hold Bitcoin, of course. Let's move on to Ether. Let's do like the top 5 very quickly. And if someone has any token or cryptocurrency that he wants to do some technical analysis, let me know in the chat. ETHUSD. Okay, so yeah, and on my chart right here, I clearly show where Vitalik dumped all his dog token in the beginning. In this area right here, and directly everything started to go back down. But let's talk about something. If we zoom out, and it's very important, by the way, guys, to zoom out. So back in April 23rd, we were around $2,500 for Ether, okay? And we can notice that this area is really important, because in the beginning it was a strong resistance area that turned into a support level right here. And prices started to go way higher than expected, and everyone didn't expect, by the way, that Ether is gonna boom that much, especially that there's a highly anticipation of the June EIP 1559. So when in the beginning Vitalik started to dump, this is what happened, and then Elon bashed Bitcoin, and then in turn everything started. This is where Elon bashed Bitcoin, and everything started to fall really heavily, especially for Ether that made very good gains, by the way, since April. So if we just want to look at it, we were here in April, we're back here around in May. Can you really call this a crash if you're holding Ether since, for example, let's say March? I don't think so. This is a small correction for you. But if you bought Ether at $4,000, yeah, well, that was a really big out for you, right? It was a big crash for you, and you kind of lost like 50%, like 4,400, 2,500, almost 40 to 50% down. So right now, what will happen to Ether, if I want to talk about now and the coming few days? This $2,500 is a very important area for Ether. Prices are expected to consolidate in the next hours around this area. But at the same time, I expect that prices should go they should reach all the way back to $3,000 minimum if the market was consolidating properly. But at the same time, if prices fail to hold around $2,500, so this consolidation, if this fails, it is expected to continue all the way back to $2,000. Why 2,000? Because if I zoom out and I want to look at important support areas, specifically the area of 2,100. I think when I talk about areas, by the way, it's like give it like 5 to even 10% buffer zone, because cryptos are very volatile, and 5 to 10% is very important. So let me put this here. If you look at it, if you're an equity trader, by the way, and this wouldn't hold, by the way, if you're talking about equity stocks. So we are at 2,700. If prices don't consolidate around here, they're expected to go back down to 2,000. And it is expected, by the way. If you look at CoinMarketCap today, prices tried to go back up, but they failed. And today it's like the market is consolidating. Let's hope that stuff pick up in the coming few hours. But again, let's to summarize about Ether. Consolidation is expected to happen around 2,700 to 2,500. If this area fail, it's going to go to 2,000. If not, it's going to recover, but very slowly. So don't count much on big gains when we talk about Ether. If you're looking to invest for the long term, sure, you can buy right here, put a stop loss around maybe 1,980. This is what I usually do. I always place a stop loss, but like a big buffer, because cryptos are very volatile. Okay. Now, if I want to go to Binance, Binance coin. So let's talk about Binance Smart Chain, by the way, guys. I think that many people are very confused about what's happening. By the way, Henry was talking about checking Oxen. I'm not sure. I don't know what that is, by the way. It's been the top 10 recently. Not sure if it still is. Let's check about that. Sure, I can do that. And it can be a good, I don't know about this token, like we can check it out together, but I'm very good at technical charting. So I'm going to be able to maybe spot good buy opportunities, or if it's a good buy, or you should hold, or I'm not sure if you hold it, by the way, currently. So we're going to check it out. Is it here? Can I maybe see it if I go to... Yeah, it's let's check it versus the Tether or dollar. Check it dollar. Sometimes Tether has like small percentages upwards or downwards. Yeah. So whenever I look at something new, it was called Loki before. Okay. Well, yeah. So let me just first answer about this one. I'm using a charting tool. You can plug TradingView to multiple third parties. Not all third parties, of course, but for now, I just use it for charting. It's not for entry or the exits or whatever. For me, it's charting, and yeah, it was called Loki, a fork of Monero. Okay, I understand. Monero is a privacy coin, by the way, if someone doesn't know. I like Monero as like its fundamentals are good. If you like total privacy, this is your way in. For Oxen, so whenever there's a new token I would like to inquire about, so first I open the chart, I go to the daily, just to take an overview of everything that's happening with the project. I can see that at certain days it just like shoots. I'm not sure if do you hold it, by the way, Henry, or you're just looking at it to see if there is opportunity to invest? Because looking at the chart, I think it's a new project as well. Like, maybe late 2020, it started. It went all the way to 35 cents. And then from there, everything started to, like on certain days, I can see that prices shoot way up, either from trading groups, but I doubt trading groups happened before 2021, either from news. Added function for smart contract. Okay, so yeah, I think it's, if anything that has smart contracts, I think has opportunity, not because it's something that is hyped, but from a technical point of view, because I'm a tech guy and understand coding and how different projects, online projects operate. Whenever you have smart contracts, you can easily integrate many features. Like, for example, if we're talking about this one, you can plug to third-party liquidity providers, for example, and this gives you more flexibility when you talk about smart contracts. So for Oxen, for example, I think here The trend is steady up, despite again this what's happened, because what's happening right here is happening to all the cryptocurrency market. Okay, it's not only about Oxen right now. So I wouldn't say that, hey, this is a bad investment. On the contrary, you're telling me that it has to do with Monero. It has to do with, like, I mean, Monero as in privacy. It has to do with smart contracts on top of it that is lacking maybe with Monero's case. So definitely, I think maybe I'm gonna take a deeper look at it. Thanks, man, for this recommendation. But still, let's do some charting, okay? I would first just, this 1.3 area looks very interesting to me because it basically was a strong resistance right here. But whenever it broke out of it, it became a strong support. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So, and the second one might be the $1 because what's happening now. So I would say that this might be a good buy opportunity right now. It's at 1.2. But if you buy, like, this is a very wide scale right now. I'm looking at the daily chart. So let me just place my areas first. I have 40, I have almost 50, I have the 80. I have the current one, which is 1. Okay, so my guess is, first, it depends on what happens with the overall cryptocurrency market. So if the global market is recovering, I would expect Oxen to go in tandem with what's happening before, because I don't think this part here has its reasons. And I think that this is only pure like correlation with the overall market. So if I just want to see that how the project was continuing, right? The uptrend was just going smoothly, by the way. That's a very nice project. And now there's some stall right here. And I would expect, let me just zoom into the 4 hours. Can stake it to get airdrop for new crypto. Let me just pin for the other guys. So other thing is you can stake it to get airdrop for a new crypto startup in Berlin. So you should check that out too. Sure thing, man. Sure. This sounds interesting. Specifically for what's happening now with the current price. Okay. So if you just look at exactly where I placed my my support lines on the daily chart, they seem to go in tandem with the 4-hour chart, and there was a very powerful rebound around the $1, $1.08, and I think that if I want to buy today, I would place my buy order maybe around this area. My stop loss would be around 0.9, because usually in the cryptocurrency market, psychological prices are very important. So for example, the $1, okay, or 90 cents or 80 cents. So I wouldn't place it at around here, but I would place it around 95 cents. See, because prices managed to go as low as 98. So I place it around 95 just to be on the safe side. And if I go there and pull my fib retracement, let me try to do, but I prefer to log it right around here. Well, I think prices will still recover 1.30 right around here, especially that if you zoom in, you would see that prices did cooperate with those areas, like the one I'm talking about, the 1.3 right here. Okay, so I think the price might manage to reach a 1.4 pricing. Okay, I think this is it for Oxen currently. So let's recap. If the current market, the cryptocurrency market, manages to break out of this crash and start to at least consolidation level, Oxen would definitely and easily reach the $1.4 level. If not, it might maybe bounce back to 1, but it's not something bad. I would wait for prices to fall all the way to $1. But here we go. This is going all the way upwards towards 1.4. By the way, we just had a very strong up candle, the green. I'm not sure if you noticed that it was around here, 1.2. Suddenly now it's 1.3. So since this area, the 38.2 percent area of the Fibonacci is going to be reached, the 1.5 is also another target. So I would say definitely hold. And at the same time, this is a good entry opportunity for traders who want to get in right here. Okay, that's a nice suggestion. Thanks, man. Let's go to Binance Coin, BNB. Did I write BNB without USD? Yes. So we will see this downtrend for most cryptocurrencies, by the way. Okay, and this happens, but for BNB, by the way, BNB had a really strong uptrend. I remember it was priced around $80 even. I was back from when it was $80, and the uptrend was broke at this exact same time. If I come here, 12 May, that was when the SNL happened. And if you think about it, when the SNL happened, many dog tokens as well were broke. They broke at the same time. So, and around 17, 18 May, this is where Vitalik dumped all his dog tokens. So it was around $600 and it went all the way to 500. That's around 20% decrease, which is really heavy, by the way. So technical traders, whenever they see an uptrend that is being broke, okay, like for example, this area right here, whenever we have something like this, definitely you should either cash out, okay, or liquidate or whatever, or like sell some of your tokens, because there's definitely something coming up, especially if you had like a consolidation of this type right here. Okay, because prices went below $600. They tried to pick up, but they couldn't go above the uptrend, and it failed. And then Vitalik dumped all his shitcoin, and then Elon tweeted around 18, 19, and that's it. This is what happened. So I think if you are a technical trader, some crashes are predictable, by the way. You might say that, hey, how can I predict? And suddenly prices fell without me knowing, and I used to hold. But let's be honest, most people don't look at the charts at least once a day. I'm talking about looking at the charts professionally, by the way, not going to market cap and just looking at the top 10 and checking the price only and then leaving. You have to do your like charting analysis, like what I'm doing right now, on a daily basis. Okay, and of course it depends if you want to look at it from a weekly basis, but of course if you look at it from a daily basis perspective, you would definitely catch those things, because if you look right here on the 12th, it's broke. On the 13th, it broke even further. For me, this is a very clear signal that the uptrend broke, and there's potential price adjustments, I would call them. That is it for BNB. I think that currently this $300, if I put it right here and then I zoom out, it will definitely be an important area. Here we go. You might say, why is this area important? Because, well, back in the beginning of April, the 2nd and the 3rd, for like two, three straight days, prices managed to consolidate around this area for an extended. And if we're talking like 3 days, this is a lot, by the way. And this is what constitutes important areas. It would be nice to have signals automatically. Well, I agree, John. I think that if we had like services, or I think there are in the market, but most of them don't look at the fundamentals, and most of them are just dumb, if you want to call them dumb signals that just look at prices, for example. If you just look at the price without looking at the users and without looking at the volume, which is very important, I think this would be meaningless, because prices tend to change on a daily basis, upwards or downwards. But if you have something that combines volume, price, and users that use, for example, a certain platform or certain DeFi project, for example, it will be really interesting. Henry is asking the tweet on the trading group. It was about the BSC network infrastructure. I think I posted something about it. I'm not sure if you're referring to that, which basically says that there were many technical difficulties on the Binance Smart Chain. Many projects were out of sync, and many people are talking about a potential downfall in the infrastructure of Binance Smart Chain. Now, this happened, by the way, again, like four months ago. There was something that was talking about Binance Smart Chain not being able to fulfill the needs for certain projects. And that's why we are seeing today the rise of other networks and blockchains, such as Matic, for example, Polygon. Now, Polygon, and I'm going to tell you something, by the way, Henry, about the importance of Polygon. And it's good that you're on the stream. I'm going to share with you something that we saw here at CryptoTicker. Many projects on the Polygon network are going mental and insane. Let me just stop a bit my analysis for BNB just to jump on DApp Radar. I'm not sure if you know about this website. DApp Radar is basically a website that it is an aggregator, just like CoinMarketCap, but it goes in details on all the projects that use this specific network. So, for example, if you look here, I'm filtered on Polygon, all the projects that use Polygon. I can see the top 5 or even the top 10. And Polycat Finance, by the way, is a project that I wrote about. It has a huge potential, and many people are talking about it. This project, Polycat Finance, was basically around number 20, or even way less in the charts. And it managed to go all the way up on the charts. And many users are using it, and the yields are insane, by the way. Of course, everything that has the high yields has high risks. But at the same time, if you want to risk, for example, $1,000 or $2,000, hey, I think now, of course, and not anyone can afford that. But if you can afford that, I think Polycat Finance can yield you a lot on the even medium term. We're talking about a couple of months in the future. So this is where I can basically see all the dApps that use certain networks. So if I go to BSC and I remove Polygon just to have a clearer picture of what's happening there. So we have, of course, SushiSwap. Oh, wait 1 second, I'm still on Polygon. Here we go, Binance Smart Chain. We have PancakeSwap, which is the top, of course. PancakeSwap is well known. It is a DeFi project that uses BSC. We have Pancake Bunny. I'm not sure about this one. It's the first time I hear about that. And there are many funny names, by the way. Panther Swap, Bakery Swap, Ape Swap. Here we go. And they all try to mimic each other, by the way. So you just need to find this perfect. Like, it's not always about looking at PancakeSwap. Hey, I'm gonna go to PancakeSwap. Yeah. Yeah, sure. It's really useful, by the way, Henry. This is where you basically see each project for each network. And you can see here, like, you can track the users' growth. And if you see like a project that has a big users growth, this definitely is a big sign that something is coming up, right? I'm not saying that prices will suddenly go, but something is coming up. If you have many users signing up today, in the future, they might start buying, for example. You can see the volume of as well, the balance, the protocol they use. So yeah, Pancake Bunny had a 1 billion export. Holy shit, man! Really, I didn't know about that. I honestly don't follow much projects that happen on the BSC. I'm not a big fan of Binance Smart Chain. Many people are saying that Binance Smart Chain is the Ripple of the cryptocurrency sphere, just because you have a company that is behind the project. For example, Ethereum is open source, and there is no central authority over the project. Whereas for Binance Smart Chain, you have Binance, the company behind the project, and for example, for the XRP, you have Ripple company behind it. Now, some people would say it's very important to have a hybrid of the two, but for me, I don't know. I want to see like some things thrive, striving, but from the open source community. But it's very hard. I understand. For me, of course, as a business person, having a company, solid company, pushing the project forward is very important as well. But for Binance, let's see. Hey, it is a big space, and I'm not sure what might happen. So yeah, that was for DApp Radar. I just wanted to show you where you can basically track the new projects that are happening. Holy shit. What about the people who bought at $1? They made like 30 times more. So did you say a pancake bunny? Yeah, let me check. I click right here. $11.5K users, but it jumped to 2019. That's like almost doubling its user base. Yeah, you're right, by the way. Like from 18 to 19, everything like went up. Volume 1.3 billion. Let's see the volume. Volume in purple. 300 million. 100 to let's say 200. It jumped to 1.5 billion. Holy shit! Nice, man. Whoa. You should have mentioned something on the trading group. Buying the dip at 5 and now it's like $30. John, this sucks for short term, but the idea is that over the years, all hacks are worth it. Well, over the long term, that's the thing. But for investors, like, for example, people who are buying today, it will be very risky for them, right? Especially that we're talking about hard-earned money, people investing. And you don't want to lose stuff just because of a simple hack or exploit in the system. And this is what makes money, by the way. Like, for example, Henry, he said he bought at $5 and now it's like $30. Hey, congrats, man. I think he's the one who exploited the system. Less money should be invested, less money risk. Well, hey, if there's no risk, there's no money as well. That's what I think. Okay, that was for DApp Radar. Let me jump to those small ones. Like I remember on the crypto group, someone talked about VET, and let's check VET, XRP, and ADA for today. And I think that's we can call it a day. But going back to Binance, by the way, so the 330 is an important area. Okay, prices might still correct back to 300. So I see a similar pattern. They bounce back to the support. They kind of adjust back upwards, but there's potential to go back to this support and then adjusting all the way back up. Okay, so I don't think the price adjustment ended yet. I think prices can still adjust downwards, but then strive back up. Okay, so I'm gonna just draw a what's it called, an arrow, just to show what I mean. So prices went to this support. Currently, they are kind of picking up, but I wouldn't be surprised if I see a further adjustment back down to this support. But then they will adjust in the short term. Okay, but we should see what might happen like in the next few hours. In the next few hours, if prices touched base around here, because we saw this in Ether and in Bitcoin, and it was the exact same pattern. Buying now would be dangerous. I wouldn't advise to buy now, by the way. I would wait to buy at the support area and place a very narrow stop loss, just not to lose much. I would place a stop loss around $300 or 310 or 320 even. If I want to buy around 330. Okay, let's go to XRP USD. Here we go. It's this exact same pattern, guys. I'm gonna see. This is the $1 area, which is a very important area, especially for Ripple, because this is a psychological price. We can see again how in the past prices, it is exact, man, charting really is something really important. I would say 80% of the times, if you do your charting correctly, you will definitely be able to spot a trend. So the $1 price area is very important because this is one. This is 2. This is 3 and 4 and 5, whatever. And today we're seeing a jump on that exact same price area. So what might happen to Ripple? I'm not gonna talk long about Ripple because for me, it's the same as BNB, the same as Ether. Prices may still go back to this support area before they go back upwards, okay? Upwards as in on their uptrend. If you want to know exactly for each token what to do, you can just directly go and plot the Fibonacci retracement, okay? From the very top all the way to where prices reached. And I basically look at the 38.2% price area and the 50. So right now, prices rebounded around here. Now in the middle, I would expect prices to reach 1.2 or 1.3 even. This is the 1.3 area. In the coming, let's say, by tomorrow. And that's in case prices didn't fall back to the resistance. And I'm usually spot on those kind of technicals, by the way, because it's the same when I do my equity trading. Let's see ADA. ADA, now, many people loved Cardano and rushed to buy Cardano. Again, the same behavior right here. What's that? Market cap. Oh my God. Exact same. I'm gonna adjust its placement in a bit. There you go. So this is ADA. I think the 1.5 is a very important area. Now prices managed to fake out. I would call this a fake out, or not. No, it's not fake out as in like literally. But this whole area right here is important. Like between 1.5, 1.55, and between 1.45 and 55. Simply because before it was a very important area as well, and it did kind of a consolidation for like 3 days, consolidating around 1.5. 1.45 to be exact, and then prices. We had a very strong support area, which is the 1.56. Let's call it 1.55, and prices went all the way to 2.4. Now we are at 1.4. Plotting the Fibonacci retracement. This will show that. Well, if you look at it this way, if you plot from the highest point all the way to the resistance, even before the prices recovered, you might definitely say that, hey, prices are going to bounce back to the 38.2 price level. And this is what every price adjustment, this is how they behave, by the way. You have a line downwards, you plot from the highest point all the way to the support area, and you will almost always see prices touch the 38.2 price level. In case prices manage to touch the 50% area, like what's happening right now, you would definitely say that, hey, prices might still go back to the 50%. For me, again, prices will still do that because, hey, an uptrend is nothing without some adjustments every now and then. Where's that uptrend here? So prices might do this or that or this, and it will still be called an uptrend. So we would still need to wait for confirmations. So for ADA, if you want to buy right now, I wouldn't advise because you can simply catch it back at 1.5. But in case prices manage to break the let's say 1.8 again, right now it's 1.77, you might wait for a better confirmation, and buying like between 1.5 and 1.9 for you on the long term is nothing, by the way. So it's always better to wait for a confirmation. I would wait for a confirmation of about 1.95 for ADA before I would buy. And if I am short-term trader, I would sell at 2.4 definitely, because that was the previous all-time high. Or even if you want to certainly catch it, 2.35. because it's always about psychological price areas. Now we go to VET. That was a request from the trading group, which is VeChain. Zoom out, zoom out. Again, we can notice that this crash affected cryptos, but basically what? They went back to their April level. Erasing gains of 1 month is fine. Looking at previous months, everyone who bought all the way around here are still profiting. People who bought around here, they broke even. Everyone who bought right here lost. But definitely, I wouldn't suggest people to liquidate and sell, because we are at a very strong support area right now for all cryptos, not now for VeChain as well. So prices, again, they did. By the way, this is a $1, yeah, sorry, 1 day chart. So 1, 2, 3, 4 days consolidating around the same price area. And I would call this a consolidation, definitely. 4 days. And today, prices reached exactly around this price area. So of course they dipped to this price area as well. This is another important consolidation. And you can directly see how prices managed to dip for 1 day, but directly recovered. And again, we have the same behavior. Fibonacci retracement from the high, here we go. And they touched the 38.2%. This shows, by the way, that markets are kind of trying to get out of the market price adjustment of the crash. And for now, in the couple of hours, prices should be able to all reach their 50% price areas, respectively. Okay, that was for VeChain. Buying VeChain now, I don't recommend. Again, I would buy around support level, support areas always. Never buy like this, like in mid-air. I don't know what that is. That was kind of a turning point for VeChain, but still the 12 cents or the 13 cents. But I would always wait for when prices manage to regain their territory in a stronger way. Let's talk about Matic. Matic was making headlines, and if we look at CoinMarketCap today, Matic is string. In the past week, it's up 88% up. Okay, guys, I think this dip was the perfect opportunity for us to buy some more Matic. For me personally, I have Matic since 90 cents. And we did publish many articles that basically spoke about how Matic was going to reach $2, and it did reach $2. Now prices managed to stay up even during this downtrend. Let's check the charts. This is Matic's chart. You can see that Matic is on a strong uptrend, by the way. This previous this correction is primarily due to the overall market crash. Again, you can directly see how prices reached a support area. They by the way, they managed to fake out, okay, but still they directly recover within few hours. Bitcoin did the same, by the way. It went all the way to 30,000 and then it recovered all the way back to 40. So we check the price of Bitcoin right now. Is it at 40? 39.5, close enough. But for Matic, The 1.5, 1.6 price area was a great buying price. For me, that was the perfect opportunity to enter the market, especially around here as well, because if you notice, again, prices for cryptocurrencies at least, they follow the technical charting like perfectly. And whenever I draw anything on the chart, it doesn't mean that 100% of the times this is what's going to happen. But most technical traders look at those important areas, and this is why when everyone places their buy orders or their sell orders at this specific area, it becomes important. So currently the price is around almost $2. Prices, again, it's the same story, by the way, for all the cryptocurrencies. They might still bounce back to their strong support before reaching 2.5. So buying at 1.6 Matic is very, very, I would do it. I would definitely do it if prices fall back to 1.6. I hope, by the way, that prices fall back down. Honestly, I always wait for such price adjustments because most newbies, they leave the market and leave us with better prices to buy. Okay. Yeah, so I think that's it for today. Very happy to see a newcomer, Henry, to the list. I hope to see you in other streams as well. Maybe we can talk about more new projects that we discover. And this Oxen pick was really interesting. I will definitely look into it. I didn't hear about it before, but from the technical charting side of Oxen, it is very important, and it has a very interesting price pattern. So I would definitely look into it to stock up some of it. And Johnson, thanks for your input. We remain. We await if there would be some kind of market aggregator that would give you a certain type of signal based on users, volumes, and whatever prices. This would be interesting. But for now, that's it. And I'll see you in the next stream, guys. Cheers.